Right, I think we can conclude our consultation session here. I've been holding regular consultations with the sinners for a while now. My session with Heathcliff ended earlier than I'd expected. So, what are you writing in that notebook? This. I thought writing them down could come in handy later, in case I have to remember something. Heathcliff's been holding that notebook in his hands ever since this session started. It didn't seem like he was making a full record of our entire conversation. It was more like he was writing things down if they seemed worthy of remembering. Are you writing about Catherine? Won't deny that's part of it. His expression becomes inscrutably complex upon hearing her name. He breathes a lungful of air and lets out a deep sigh. He smiles awkwardly before sliding his notebook across the desk in my direction. I take a quick glance at its pages. Its contents are disorganized, as chaotic as his handwriting. But I also notice that several of those disorganized notes are records of his memories with Catherine, scribbled next to notes of significant moments in our journey. Records of memories he doesn't want to lose. Well, it ain't nothing important. Right, if we're done here, I'm off. Heathcliff takes the notebook and leaves the room. I catch a glimpse of his bitter expression as he steps through the doorway. It isn't long before Rhodia practically bursts through the door. Hey, saw Heathcliff leaving the room just now. Thought it was my turn. That was a pretty quick meeting, huh? Yeah, we didn't really talk about much. I don't know what's gotten into him lately. He's been so tame? Well, I'm not complaining. Why don't you take a seat, Rhodia? Rhodia hummed cheerfully as she sat down. She really didn't seem too different from her usual self. Our consultations usually consisted of some minor chit-chat and watching her munch on some snacks, but... Hey, so, I think there's something we have to talk about today. Yeah? Ooh, you're so serious today. What's up? Do you remember what you asked me when we were dealing with the case of time killing time, Rhodia? I don't know. What did I say? A lot. Rhodia carefully looks away, her fingers fiddling with the snacks prepared for these consultations. I'm starting to grow uncertain whether this is a good time to bring this up when she's still so obviously evasive about it. I really don't want the mood to get as frosty as it did during the investigation. But this overly chipper, chatty attitude is just a bandage haphazardly pulled over a scar that still hurts, isn't it? I sit there, looking at Rhodia and her fabricated smile. I have to ask. Yeah, this is exactly what these consultations are for. What better time to do this than now? I'm talking about the time you asked me about Sonia, about what would have happened if you... The alarm had to choose this precise moment when I finally gathered enough courage to bring this up, to go off. Wait, that was... I reflexively get to my feet at the blaring alarm. A few seconds later, I hear someone tapping on the bus PA system. And not long after that, a brief bzzzt plays from the speaker installed in my room. Testing. Announcing from the driver's seat, all units taking R&R on the bus must assemble in the hallway ASAP. I repeat, all units taking R&R on the bus. Driver's seat, Charon's seat. Stop pulling me! I'm in the process of relaying a very important announcement! Stop getting in way of between Charon and Mephi. Virgilia's deep sigh was the last thing we heard from the bus's PA system before Charon and Utis's brief squabble came to an abrupt end. Right, a new backdoors thingy? That's what the alarm usually means, right? Let's see. I'm gonna guess that this one's for a Refraction railway. Ugh, not a fan of those railways. They're so exhausting. But they're also canon. I remember Canto 4 actually had Heathcliff complaining about how the first encounter with Brazen Bull felt like fighting a Refraction railway boss. Anyhow, Rhodia grumbles for a moment before rising from her seat. Kinda seems like she's trying to smoothly maneuver away from answering my question. What you standing around for, Dante? Come on, aren't you gonna go see what's going on? Yeah, I'm coming. I leave my empty consultation notes behind and follow Rhodia out to the hallway. out to a very crowded hallway. The murmur rises and rises. The sinners were each sharing their ideas as to what this alarm might be for. It's got to be the Refraction Railway this time, right? Yep. Line 4 most likely. This is gonna suck, isn't it? Attention! The executive manager has arrived. I have assembled your forces already in a timely manner. Thanks. Welcome, Dante. I heard the radio. Is it a Refraction Railway this time? Yes, the 4th line of the Refraction Railway, to be exact. Hey, I think they're getting used to this. WTHAWGI. Whoa, 'tis a hearkening at... When the hell... It appears she is requesting information pertinent to our schedule regarding our entry to the railway. To be exact, I think she's asking, when the hell are we going in? Ryoshu, who had been listening with a knitted brow as each sinner hazarded their guesses, appeared to have finally found peace. Sinclair was right on the money. Hey, at least Gregor and Yiseng got half of that right too. The bus alarms weren't the only things growing increasingly familiar to us. The sinners were really getting to know one another as well. Well, let's go check it out right now. Then I shall open the gates! The door opens with a creak, and bright blue light fills my vision. The blue ambience almost seems to drop the temperature of the entire room. Another railway line, completely different from line 3 and its orange hue. Manager Esquire, behold! These curtains, these masks! I say, visions of a party lie before us, forsooth! Masks? I followed Don Quixote, who had run off on her own again, with my eyes. It was as she said. The walls were lined with various masks, each wearing different expressions. I wonder if this has something to do with the theme of the enemies we're about to meet here. Oh, hie thee hither, one and all! Here is a woman, her appearance a splitting image of Lady Utis. What? There was an urgency in her voice. I quickly ran to where Don Quixote was with the other sinners in tow. And there she was, an exact copy of Utis, standing before us. I hope this isn't anything serious. Ugh, she wasn't kidding. I hope this isn't a lure left behind by an abnormality or something like that. Oi, how about we don't tempt fate, lad? But she's quiet, unlike Utis, and shrouded in a weird shadow. Oh, look, here's one that looks just like me! Honglu stood next to a humanoid shape that mimicked every move he made. When he raised his hands, the shape raised its hands. When he closed his eyes, the shape closed its eyes. Right, almost like a shadow with a darkness and its mimicry. Wait, that looks like one of Honglu's identities. I noticed 2-3 more humanoid shadows standing nearby. What on earth is going on? We'd be much better off if they were some byproduct of an abnormality. However, if they are clones, we must move swiftly to exterminate them, Executive Manager. I request that you immediately order us to prepare for battle. Give me a sec. I'll ask Forst first if... No, you must make a judgment call at this instant. If they are indeed clones, then the head will... This isn't the first time she's asked to make a decision like this, but... She's never been this serious or adamant about it before. Yiseng noticed the tension and quickly stepped in between the two of us. Miss Forst, would you kindly share what you know of this phenomenon? Yes. This entity is not a clone. Therefore, even if a week were to pass, the head will not mobilize. Forst nodded sagely as though she had just learned something new, before looking in my direction. Right, she probably wants me to explain what this is. I quickly blurted out the first thing that came to mind. That one feels like a pecatulum. I wasn't completely sure, but that's the feeling I've grown so used to sensing whenever we encounter the pecatula. A pecatulum. It's blindly mimicking whatever Honglu is doing. I'm not sure it has much or anything in the way of consciousness or ego. It doesn't look like a one-to-one copy of him either. Please becalm yourself, Miss Utis. It appears that aught has unnerved you. Utis bows. embarrassment apparent, but her head cleared with relief. My deepest apologies, Executive Manager. I should not have acted in such an unsightly manner before you. That looks like a new expression. I don't recall ever seeing that one before. Clearly, I still have a lot to learn about the sinners. Every instance of these moments seemed to unveil something new. I was trying to get a better read on Utis's expression when Heathcliff suddenly asked the question out loud. I thought them Pecatula are supposed to look like monsters, innit? Distortions and the Pecatula must not be judged on a reference based on common sense, such as their physical appearance. But do you think we can handle them? Oh yeah, if they're going to swarm us like they did at the manor, or if they manage to somehow copy Virgilius, that's going to be a problem. Recall the railways of refraction we have suffered ere this one's arrival. It should not present before us a foe we cannot defeat. Yet the process shall be as grueling as it always has been, I suspect. Faust is aware that this entity is a Pecatulum of envy, Pecatulum invidiae. Considering the strengths of Pecatula we have faced thus far, it is unlikely we will encounter enemies too far beyond our ability to defeat. The lack of precise tiered labeling system means that it is difficult for one to make a subjective judgment. Speaking of which, what's the ETA on the new risk level and classifications for the Pecatula and distortions? The LCD has informed us they have made significant progress regarding that project. It is likely that further details will be shared once they become more concrete. Ah, that's good to know. Looks like the Pecatula are running away all of a sudden. As we stood there talking to one another, a Pecatulum that resembles Honglu suddenly shoved him to the side and began sprinting elsewhere. What the hell, mate? Don't just sit there and gawk at him when they're all legging it. Heathcliff also sprinted after the figure, but he soon came to a sudden stop before starting to slowly back away. Oh blimey. A subway train slides into the platform with a loud horn. Past the window I see a subway car filled to the brim with purple shadows. Shadows in the shape of the sinners. That's a lot of them. I think I recognized 3 shadows that look just like me. That ridiculous sight was enough to stop us all dead in our tracks, allowing the Pecatulum to board the subway car. When the door shut behind him, I sense aught in the way of disquietude from this refraction railway. Fellas, there's another one coming this way. As soon as the subway train is carrying the Pecatula leave the station, a new one begins to roll in. To my relief, this one doesn't look like it's packed to the brim with the shadow people. But what is it? There are curtains and masks? I don't remember seeing anything like that on the last railways we challenged. How uninspired. Hey, I didn't notice it earlier because of all that mess with the clones and everything, but doesn't that train look much more elaborate than what we've seen before? Right, it's adorned with all kinds of decorations. Just as the sinners were gawking at the ostentatiousness that was this train, something burst forth from the train car door. Oh, did that thing just roll out a carpet for us? It's like something's inviting us in there. I ill like such manner of invitation. I agreed with you, saying, this wasn't an invitation I'm happy to jump at, but I'm sure we'll face even worse things in our journey. I'll take every chance we get to strengthen the sinners. Let's go. I took my first steps onto the carpet and boarded the subway train.
주요 복지 중 가장 좋다고 여기는 것은 바로 점심시간 동안 주어지는
Okay, maintenance compensation, and yeah. I did do one more run of Refraction Railway. I couldn't beat my record. I'm going to forever be stuck at 73. But until that point, Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4. The fact that it says which line will you travel makes me wonder if there's intent for a way to go back and visit old ones. It doesn't feel like it, but might be nice. Yeah, they're expecting you to do a lot for this one. I have a railway team made up of all my best high-level characters. It's not perfect, but I really don't want to use Encore Forced and level her up. I usually love to use her in Refraction Railways, but I can't do that in this one. Because if I level her up to 45, then she makes Lust Excavation much harder. So, Oh, Nellie's waiting for us. Alright, let's go. So total participants 12. Let's think out what we want to do here. So she gains +2 identity level, that's nice. He gets extra SP, he gets offense level. Your position affects a lot apparently. And now we deploy our backups. Clashing Power is starting SP. We don't want the starting SP. Oh wait, because he's backup, he's always going to have starting SP. That's annoying. Ooh. Okay, so I have read about how this works. Whenever one of our current IDs go down, we swap over to our backup IDs in order.
다음 5창까지는 돌아오겠습니다.
Okay, what is your gimmick? You have sinking, because of course you do. At 10 clashes against the same enemy, randomly gain or lose clash power by clash count divided by 10 in a clash. Refracted struggle, huh? Would have been nice if we had a trash mob in this early run, but I suppose you can't have everything. But it's all one body part, so something like this is going to be nice if we can get that plus coin drop. Oh shoot. I picked a bad fight to bring in Ryoshu, didn't I? You usually don't use your Envy skill this early, but we're gonna need to for the clash, I think. This is an unfortunate fight to have a lot of blunt weakness on, isn't it?
나를 보호해라.
Weak to slash resists and weak to slash and pride but resists envy. Good to know. Does not lose SP upon ally defeat. Yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. I really should have taken better account of what sort of... I should have considered better... Where am I going with this thought? I should have considered ego before I started all this. I definitely can't use Blind Obsession because having an ego passive that gives out extra sinking to this guy is just going to make my life very unpleasant. Oh, shoot. So nothing in the terms of passives. Okay, out of everything, what's the safest for you to take hits from? The sloth skill.
총원 불격.
I would pick a team heavily focused into PS damage for a fight like this, wouldn't I? I am the butler of this manor, yet I do not recognize your faces. I cannot help but be wary. Perhaps you seek to mire this manor again in sorrow. If you claim otherwise, then allow me to inquire, which of these portraits is that of my master? Gloom advantage, who will answer? Okay, fingers crossed that you're not going to screw me here. He's saying confidently steps forward and points a finger at one of the portraits. The monster stands still for a moment, then replies affirmatively. You are familiar with my master. Though you are an interloper still, I see no a bringer of sorrow. The monster, still holding a portrait, appears somewhat less hostile. Gains 3 offense level down.
선원들 나를 보호해라.
Refracted portrait, what do you do? As long as this unit exists, inflict 1 sinking potency and count every turn. When this unit is defeated, inflict interloper against the enemy that attacked this unit last. If 4+ enemies have interloper, this does not activate. When an identity with interloper is defeated, move to an identity without interloper. Oh boy, that's going to get out of hand very quickly, but we also don't exactly have much in the way of AoEs that can do something about it. We need gloom, sloth, and gluttony. We need lots of gloom. Oh, yikes, you have a lot of resistance now. When portraits are present, reduce affinity and attack type resistances by 0.5 and gain 8 protection. If enemies defeated the Master's portrait, inflict interloper to the unit that defeated it, gain 0.5 physical resistances and fragile next turn. So we have to find the one that's the Master's portrait. Clash lose. Reveal the portrait attached to this slot, and he's at 42 offense level. At least he has some bind. Bind is nice.
탈출 개체 확인.
Why? Forced!
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Master or Master's portrait? Okay, so this is the one we have to break. And incidentally, we probably want that to be done by you.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
Oh man. Okay, once more we have to beat this thing up. What I really should have gotten is a Pride Resonance team for this nonsense. We're going to need some gloom resources, and I don't feel... Don Quixote is our only source, unfortunately. On the upside, now that we're getting a kill with Captain Ishmael here, Now we're back to this mode, except you are now very weak to slash, neutral to pierce, and weak to blunt. Alright, good to know. Lust, sloth, pride. So, probably a team intended for Tremor. I would love to see him get the reuse with his attack, but we're not going to. Oh wait, what's this? Prioritize the interloper. If the target is interloper, inflict more sinking and sinking count. Would be nice if Donnie could have moved after Ryoshu, but I guess you can't have everything.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
There we go.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
I tell you, we're capped on SP now, thanks. I think not in a small part to Captain Ishmael over there. Okay, there should be 4 bleed on the target. So we should be able to get some poise out of Snag Harpoon. I was hoping that would crit.
이 작살은 필살의 집념이 담겨 있지.
Oh, you know what? I think I misjudged how much charge Don Quixote had, darn it. I'm so used to her just having the fight being over by this point. Wait, why do we have 3 why do we have 3 interloper? When an enemy has interloper, inflict interloper against an enemy without interloper every time this unit loses 10% of max HP, I see. But only to 4 enemies. If a skill slot attached to a master's portrait, a shockwave in the same color as the aura around the color around the master's portrait. I'm confused, but we do have clash power, so try not to mess up. Cause sinking deluge, yikes. How greedy am I feeling? Yikes. Okay. I'd say that out of everyone, we're the most okay with Heathcliff because he's the tank and he gains more damage from being staggered.
지금은 어디요?
Next act.
나를 보호해라.
Oh boy, it's butler time, and we still have sinking on us. Fantastic. These guys all resist PS, so I actually picked the absolute worst team to bring to all this nonsense. Except for Ryoshu and Don Quixote, they were good picks. I'm just going to ignore you with that evade and figure out who is the least... Okay, you.
내가 시범을 보이지.
The fact that this envy, that this sinking is sticking on me is definitely a health hazard.
저놈을 추적해.
Huh. Odd. I think this might be time to pull in Red Eyes Open and try to spill it over onto this one, but I also want it to clash with you over here. Maybe I should have checked what Teth Ego I had equipped before I started this.
보자 너. 제법 지쳤나보. 늘어졌네 저거. 맞추기 쉽고.
Oh, she got the tails. Oh, I need to wrap up after this act because we are way over time.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Level 47. Everyone is level 45, so actually giving Captain Ishmael the extra identity level was a pretty good idea. Okay, who's most likely to not... Okay. You can get the extra damage and come close to death.
기세가 수그러지는군. 저놈을 추적해.
가까워진다. 항의 끝.
Wait. If staggered, gain 12 SP. Are they just gonna keep respawning, guys? Is that how this is gonna go?
보지 않나? 제법 지쳤나 보.
가슴 가장 깊은 곳까지 박히도록. 선원들, 나를 보호해라. 총원 불격!
Oh, you know what I really should have been looking at? I should have been looking at whether they have any sin weaknesses, because that could definitely help speed this up a bit.
저놈을 추적해. 대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
Oh, hello, Josephine! Ooh, we do not want this to get through. I really should have used Body Sack at some point earlier.
내가 시범을 보이지.
이 작살엔 필살의 집념이 담겨있지.
Oh dear, they are actually coming in a complete horde. We're screwed. Oh, that is very hateful. We cannot let anyone hit Don Quixote either. Damn it. Okay, we'll just have to hope that she goes poor luck with her evades then.
내가 시범을 보이지. 나는 이 왕좌에 묶여 홀로 통치하는 자일지니.
I think he's about to get a free hit off on Don Quixote because the evade skill was aimed at her. Okay, that one is going to hurt, but we are going to add some protection. $55. She's going to take some bleed damage, so let's just hope that forced rolls all heads.
시범을 보이지.
Oh, she's also going to take some sun shower damage.
이 스며들 듯한 비. 우산이 새진 않는.
탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다. 선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Of course, you know the worst thing is that once we get to the end of this, there's still going to be Nelly to deal with. She's going to make us very unhappy.
저놈을 시작해.
Oh, that bleed on Don Quixote is terrifying and upsetting. And it's still not off. Prioritize Heathcliff. Weird. Okay, let's just go for an indirect kill round. This might cost us some sinners, but if we can burn through his HP, we'll be in a nice position. Although, oof. 33, 16, 41, 42, 16. $80. Fingers crossed.
눈에 새겨주지. 탈출 개체가 점유되었습니다. 선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Do not give her the extra skill slot, just, I'm gonna have to go for evading this instead.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
Wait, why does she start off with 30 SP? That feels a little bit unfair. Thank you, Heathcliff. I couldn't have done it without you.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Okay, there it is. Starting SP plus 30. We need to push down her clash power, I think.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
For some reason we didn't have full charge, oh dear. Okay, I guess all in.
내가 시범을 보이지.
저놈을 추적해. 달려라 루신한테. 정의는 승리한다.
If we win both clashes with both these IDs, we should be able to keep that bleed on her for just a little bit longer. Actually, we could just do this. Yeah, and then we get to keep the bleed for an even longer time than that.
총원 불격! 이 작살에 필살의 집념이 담겨있지.
No! Why? The problem is that it just takes one of those 1 in 20 shots to lose the clash that I'm counting on winning. If target has binding technique, inflict more binding technique. Okay, I actually do have a plan for this time. We're going to use Crow's Eye View to ensure that we get that Ishmael gets to move first, and then Ishmael will win the clash, basically. Okay, you go there.
내가 시범을 보이지.
저놈을 추적해.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
Okay. All battle mark expires on that. Target has binding technique, then keep it going. Clash lose. If target has binding technique, the technique expires. So okay, we can win this. We need a big high rolling ego. There we go. Just enough power. Ooh, that receiving art's binding is terrifying. Why does it have just that little bit of extra clash power? Because we have binding on us, right, so this will work though. She isn't faster, she's just rolling that decently. Seven, 10, 13. We can just barely outroll it. It won't be fun, but it can be done.
내가 시범을 보이지.
Really should have saved a charge attack for this one, but eh. It's actually pretty hard to save them.
내가 찾은 나만.
Oh hey, the tremor might actually look somewhat decent when we get around to Forced's turn. How about that?
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
Okay, now just all in on damage, although... Does she have... No, she doesn't have sin weaknesses in this round.
내가 시범을 보이지.
저놈을 추적해.
기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려.
Photobombed. Anyhow, Station 4 Interlude. I need to consider what I'm going to be using in the upcoming rounds. But until next time, guys, take care. We'll see you all around. This will be nice for catching up some extra identities, won't it?